Good morning, America. How are you? Welcome to Decision Making 2020. This morning, I hope Trump decides to send in not only the National Guard, but the Army. These people going stone cold crazy. I'm listening to the police radio last night. They're not doing nothing with the loiters and with the arsons. Night before last, we had 18 arsons in Minneapolis, and I believe we had at least that many last night, and then we had, I think, at least that many again over in St. Paul. So I'm noticing that there's been protests in Colorado, Texas, LA, and it's funny, they'll protest this in LA, but they won't protest Pelosi or Adam Schiff. Are you kidding me? The more I look at that situation, the more I'm sure that election has been skewered in their favor for the last 10, 15 years. Even the liberals in California aren't stupid enough to re-vote in somebody that's running their town in the ground. Okay? They don't even do that much dope in California. People aren't that stupid. They can't be. So, with her manipulating the votes and so forth, we got to pay for her stupidity throughout. Yesterday, Trump mentioned that they didn't have very good leadership here. Boy, you talk about an understatement. Are you kidding me? Lack of leadership. Yesterday on the police radio, I heard guys calling out for a supervisor or someone in authority to come out to the situation, to their to their location, and make a decision on which way to proceed. I'm all ears. Somebody with authority needs to make a decision about this. We're all ears. The only problem was nobody ever came across with a decision on nothing. So they have the worst leadership here I've ever seen in my entire life. And that's both Minneapolis and St. Paul Police Department. It's really sad. You got people getting shot, injured. You've got policemen, or not policemen. Well, yeah, I'm sure they're getting injured too, but you got firemen getting injured. All because these idiots don't want to do nothing. They don't want to stop. They don't want to do their job. They don't want to arrest the murderers. They don't want to do their job. This is what you get when you got prosecuting attorneys. Look at Philadelphia. Look at San Francisco. Look at Chicago. Okay, these are all George Soros plants. He's got us right by the jugular vein. All right? Now we got a murder that half of America watch this guy murder this guy. And it's either murder one or two. You see, this officer that committed the murder transferred up here from Houston, Texas, 10 years ago. The young man he murdered, he transferred to Minnesota 2 years ago from Houston. Someone needs to do a background check and see if this murderer ever arrested this victim in Houston. Because if he has, they have a history, and that cop remembered arresting him and was doing a vendetta or getting even. If you look at the video, looks like they got the guy drug over next to the car tire where nobody could film what was going on. I'm glad somebody caught an angle on it so they could see just how bad it really was. But it looked like he had him over there by the back tire where nobody could film it and he wouldn't get caught. So unfortunately, that tells me he's done this before. This isn't his first time. Trump needs to get involved here. We need to clean out the swamp. We got a bad swamp here in Minnesota, real bad. But then again, the Democrats have been here for 50 years. So what do you expect? Okay? Everybody that hates Trump, here's your Democrat liberals at work. We got a murderer on film, and he's not behind bars. Why is the murderer not in jail? Oh, that's right. If you're a Democrat, it's not rape or murder. It's just nothing. Ask any Democrat. They'll tell you. Trump, we need your help out here. These knuckleheads had one job. They weren't going to mess with the arsons. They weren't going to mess with the loiters. They're just going to take care of their third precinct. Well, guess what? At 10 o'clock, it was overrun by the rioters. They lost the police station. They had one job. They couldn't do that. They had to be airlifted, the officers on the roof of the police station, by helicopter, rescued by helicopter. So they can't even take care of their own police station. And you're going to expect them to take care of the public? This whole organization here needs to be gutted from the top down. It would be better to have no police than to have bad police. Don't ever forget that, okay? If all you're running is bad cops, you don't need any cops, because they're defeating the purpose. And like Officer Tatum says, and I think Dan Bon Jovi has mentioned, police officers need to be held accountable to a higher standard. Kind of like in the Bible where it says, I wish ye not all be teachers, for ye shall receive a greater judgment. We need help here. We got a deep swamp. I'm glad Trump's involved because it needs to get cleaned out. We need your prayers in Minneapolis, because right now we are hopeless. Our police can't even police the police. Our police cannot even protect their own office. We've got a civil uprising here like you've never seen. And I lived through the 67 Detroit riots, okay? This is nothing compared to that. And it's getting worse. It's going to continue to get worse, and it's going to spread around the country unless you get this under control. And right now, the local media is covering this as it's okay to loiter. It's okay to arson. It's okay to show your feelings. This is how you feel. You feel unjustifiably persecuted. And this is how you stand up for your feelings. And it's okay. We understand. As they burn the town down. Are you kidding me? Somebody snatched their heads out of their butts so they'll do their job. Okay? When they back down, I mean, and the mentality that we're dealing with here, these folks, they burned down the only grocery store within about 10 miles. And 90% of them in that area don't have a car. So 90% of them in that area ain't getting groceries for the next month or two. And they didn't think about that before they got all caught up in the heat of the moment, did they? Where are you going to get your groceries from? Is that the Trump train? God, I hope so. I hope that's the Trump train coming to town, because we will get this problem solved. That's one thing about old Uncle Don. You guys may not like him, but he gets the job done. I can't wait till he puts America back on their feet. Just like he got us on our feet before the coronavirus, he'll do it again. We'll be back, and we'll be better this time than we were the last time. But we got a little problem here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I've thought about a couple times going down there and straightening them out, but they don't want to see me. They don't want to see me. I better stay away from there. Because I'll be the only one out of 5,000 people riding, and I'll be trying to do the right thing that gets arrested. But that's just the way Minnesota works. And I know it, so I'm not down there with my nose in it. Even though you got to be in it to win it. I love there's 2 or 3 black gentlemen that stopped down. Their outfit was called Black Fathers or something. And they were stopping the rioters from breaking into the 3rd precinct in the daylight. They probably saved hundreds of lives that they don't even realize. And the people's lives that they were saving, they don't realize that they just saved their lives either. But I mean, you know, it's a good group. It's a level head. I hope they show up again today. I don't know if they were around tomorrow. There was only a couple of them. And the problem is that these riots are all over. They're around the precincts. They went to City Hall yesterday. And then it went over into St. Paul. Well, St. Paul's got nothing to do with Minneapolis. It's just a reason to riot. And they let them do it. They're not stopping them. Are you kidding me? If you don't stop the riot, it's going to continue. But the liberals don't understand that. They say it's okay for them to riot. I understand how they feel. And they need to get it out of their system. Well, how much of the town are we going to let them burn down before we figure they've gotten enough out of their system? You're going to have to stop them sometime or they're just going to keep going. We're not dealing with the sharpest knives in the drawer here. These looters, these vandals, these arsons, they're not the brightest bulb on the tree. And they're definitely a few fries shy of a Happy Meal. So you're not going to talk no sense to them. You have to actually stop them. I wish they had about 1,000 of those outfits. They got a new thing out that you can stop someone from running away from you without using lethal force. And it shoots this thing that spins around. It wraps them up like a mummy. Wraps them tight and they fall down. I say wrap them up and let them lay there for 2 or 3 days. Don't take them to jail. Just let them lay there tied up on the ground. Let them think about what they're doing out there. Loitering. Arson. While people are running by them. Let them think about that while they're on the ground. Unless they see somebody that knows them and can help untie them, they'll be laying there on the ground. I say we stack them up like cordwood. Tie them all up. Let them lay there on the ground. Don't put your knee in the back of their neck. Just let them lay there on the ground. And I gotta know. I'm listening to the police radio. Whenever the police roll up, all over St. Paul, Minneapolis, they're chucking rocks at them. Where were the rock chuckers when this guy's neck was being snapped damn near and the cop's knee was on it? And he was choking him out and killing him. Where were the rock chuckers in? That's when we needed the rock chuckers, chucking rocks and bricks at that cop with his knee in the back of the guy's head. No, they don't want to come forward and do what's right. They just want to do what's wrong. So does this ever get any justice? No. The criminals prevail again. But then again, they're letting them. They're not stopping them. How do you not stop criminals? Only in a liberal democratic government. If this was Republican run, this crap wouldn't be going on. They wouldn't be burning down the buildings because they'd be stopping them as they're gathering. If this was Michigan, old Whitmer, Governor Whitmer would have them all in arrest for breaking the coronavirus restrictions and not being at home. They broke the social gathering rules. There's more than 10 of them. They'd all go to jail. And she'd enforce that. They'll enforce the coronavirus. If you're out with your kid in the park, they'll come and arrest you. But it's okay to go burn down the town and go steal everything in Target and then set it on fire and smash the cash register. That's fine. Just don't go play ball with your kids in the park. And that's the way the Democrats are running America. Folks, the only way we can change this is in November. We're really screwed up. There's a lot of you guys that didn't go out every November and vote, and now we've got Democrats running the Congress. If it happens too many more times, we'll lose the Senate as well. You got to vote every November. And you got to vote these Democrats that love killing babies and putting our country in a hole and selling us out to the terrorists and to the communists and to the drug cartel. Pelosi, Gavin, I know where you guys get your money. That's why you've got a refugee state. That's why you got refugee cities, because the drug cartel's paying you. I'd just like to know what's California worth these days. Is that 25, 50, 100 million? What are you guys splitting? You know? No borders? Really? If I could just meet one person that don't have any car locks on their car and no locks on their doors at home, and they've never locked their car and they've never locked their house, and they don't want borders, I'd be all for it. But you can't find me one person that hasn't locked their car in a bad neighborhood. We don't want our jobs stolen. We don't want our property stolen. We don't want our people killed. Okay? The Democrats, the voters, that's all they see. With illegal, unlawful people committing felonies to vote for them just so they get elected. It's okay. We'll break the law all day long because we need the power. We don't have enough sense in our brain between our ears for anything other than a place to park our glasses. But we can sure lie, steal, and cheat our way to the top, and then we'll keep doing it. We don't have any ideas that'll fix or better the country. We just have ideas that'll pad our pockets. Folks, Minneapolis, St. Paul needs your prayer. Don't forget to pray for the president. Like, share, subscribe. This one's going to go up on YouTube. Leave me a comment on what your thoughts are on what this thing is going on whether or not you feel that the police officer that murdered this young man should be brought in and charged and put in jail, along with the other 3 officers that were accomplices. I still just find it hard to believe there's 3 peace officers that were hired to protect and serve that watched their boss kill a man, and not one of them had balls enough to stand up and tell him, hey, that's enough, let's get him in the car. He's out cold now, I'll help you lift him in the car. Get your knee out of his windpipe, asshole. Let's put him in the car. I can't believe 1 out of the 3 didn't have the gonads to say that. I would have said that. I wouldn't have been going there for that. There's a real problem here, you see, because there's been another video that surfaced. The video before he was laying face down. The video where he very docilely got up and walked over to the car in handcuffs. Now, how much can he resist if he's in handcuffs? They called him because he tried to counterfeit a fake 20 or a fake $100 bill, whatever. It's a piece of paper. When they called on the white guy whose uncle was a sheriff who had just murdered 9 black parishioners, he got picked up and arrested without incident. This can't continue, folks. This can't continue. And somebody needs to do their due diligence and find out if this murderer ever arrested this young man 10, 15 years ago when he was an officer in Houston. Because if he has, he knew him. He knew the victim, and he was on a vendetta. That's murder 1, folks. And he needs to be charged to the full extent of the law. I could care less whether he's got a piece of plastic or tin or whatever that thing is that he carried with him for over 20 years as a badge. It was a mistake. Never should have had one to begin with. And the chief of police in Minneapolis needs to be fired yesterday for having assholes like him work for him. When do we stop passing the buck? When is people going to be responsible for what their job is? They got the words chief of police here, and the last one was wrote out with, criminal charges. They can't get it. It's liberal Democrat, okay? So we can't get somebody that's going to follow any type of rules. They make their own as they go along. We all know that. And they lie through their teeth. Just stop constantly. Just stop it. Jeez. Stop the loiters. Stop the arsons. Stop the lying, okay? It's not okay to burn buildings down. It's not okay to loiter and steal stuff. It's not okay to smash glass and ruin family businesses that people are striving to scratch out a living at. That's not okay. I don't give a shit how you feel. Okay? Screw your feelings. I really don't. Quit breaking the glass. Quit destroying things. Quit tearing down America. We're trying to build this place back up. We're trying to get it reopened. And this is our reopening? This is our grand reopening? Come on. We can do better than this. We're Americans. We need a little bit of Republican influence out here in the Democratic Midwest because they think it's okay to let people burn stuff down and loiter. And I mean, the shootings. We had 5 night before last. We had 2 active shooters yesterday during the day. There was another one last night, and that's just in St. Paul. We had a gal shot. There was a girl raped in Minneapolis. There was a girl shot in Minneapolis. Come on. We've got the worst of the worst coming out when we need the best of the best. And the best of the best, our police officers, they're not doing their job. They're standing on a roof shooting tear gas down at protesters. They have no leadership. Not from the top down, okay? Nobody knows how to handle this. They've stirred up a hornet's nest that they need to deal with, and they don't know how. They don't have a clue. They have 5,000 National Guards in. They can't even set them up appropriately to help. I'm not going to say they're stupid, but for lack of better words, that's the only one that comes to my mind. You folks pray for the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Pray that we get some real intelligent influence here, okay? And that God would touch and heal this land, because we're in bad shape. We've been burning for 2 days in Minneapolis around the clock. There was over 18 arsons last night, 18 the night before. They were just getting the flames put out from the night before when they started making new fires over in St. Paul and Minneapolis. So today will be another day of fire, day of moving in the National Guard, and they don't even, like I said, they don't even know how to work them. They've got the manpower to stop this, but they won't, because they got this let them go attitude going. And it's something that the Democrats come up with. I could never see letting anybody burn down buildings and attack firemen. When they lost that fire engine the first night, I was sick to my stomach, man. Firemen don't arrest nobody. Firemen don't hurt nobody. Firemen are the good guys. Firemen are who you call when you're in trouble. Firemen are always there to help you, okay? Now, there may be a few bad cops out of millions, but that's not the norm, okay? So we need to get rid of the bad apples. And when you got bad apples, not only do you put them in the garbage, you usually smash them, okay? So maybe we could smash them, make a little cider out of this deal, and put them away. Get rid of them. We need to get rid of the bad cops and get the good cops going, all right? There are good kids out there that will serve our country. They served in the military. But this situation's got to change. It's no good. And it's been allowed. The sad thing is, this guy's got several complaints against him. He's still working. Why do you got people that are roughing people up underneath you? Fire the chief of police in Minneapolis. Are you kidding me? Why hasn't he been fired? Why hasn't he got these guys in jail? I'm 40 miles from downtown, and it stinks way out here. There's so much shit going on down there. I can smell the crap from here. I ain't going down there. It'll only get worse. The stench is bad. Pray for the Twin Cities. Pray for our president. I'm going to wrap this thing up. I can only listen so long to the police radio, and I got to turn it off. I'm scared for these guys. I wouldn't want that job right now for nothing. Love or money. No, all you are is a sitting target for idiots. I'll pass. Because they're supposed to sit there and take the abuse. No, not on my watch. Ain't happening. That's not the way the police in my day were brought up. They don't let people burn down places. They don't let people rob other people. They don't let people shoot other people. They get in and do their job. They protect and serve. But I don't think they figured that out here in Minneapolis. Number one, they're killing people instead of protecting them. And number two, they let rioters riot. And it's a mess. God bless you all. Don't forget to pray for our president. And I could use a little prayer too, because this stuff's getting crazier and crazier, and I got to listen to it all and try to come up with something that makes some sense out of it. And the wheels are smoking. You ever try to make sense out of Democratic baloney? You'll get a headache. Have a blessed day. Keep praying. We're going to come out of this better than we ever have before. And if you haven't caught by any chance Andy Stanley's sermon 2 weekends ago, about the coronavirus. Not last week, but the week before. Awesome sermon. One of the best I've heard him do in 10 years. Check it out. You'll be blessed. It's about coming out of this thing better. The new norm will be better than the old norm. We're all going to be better for this. And if you listen and pay attention and do what he says to do in that sermon, your life will be better coming out of this. Spiritually, relationally, financially. Now, if all those three things are better, and we're better off for it, it's a good deal, not a bad thing. But to go through all this garbage that we've gone through as a country and come out behind and not ahead, that would be a sin. Let's get some gain out of this. Let's come back the way we always do. We're Americans. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Like, share, and subscribe. Please leave me comments on anything you may need prayer for or anything you'd like to hear come up in future podcasts. Any topic I can do some due diligence on and dig into for you and try to find you some answers. Anything that's making you go, in the night. Leave it in the comments section below. Have a blessed day. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.